All right, John, so you want to tell them where we are?
Yeah, we're in Manhattan. We're in Union Square, which is downtown Manhattan. And we're getting ready to go see the band Bayside play the Walking Wounded tour.
Yeah, 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, and a New Orleans funeral procession band just started up. And we're going to sit and wait this out because this is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's the Jambalaya Jazz Band, John. How can you say no?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, just so nobody can see this because it's a podcast and you have to see with your ears, there's like 8 guys, they all have marching band equipment, and there's like probably like 200 people in a line, and there's people on stilts.
Yeah, just cause.
And the NYPD is also flanking them. Not to arrest them though, they're not trying to occupy anything.
No.
Unless it's the fun spot in your heart, which they're allowed. But there it goes.
That was very morning news.
So, episode 14, Simple Plan.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's going to be a good episode, I think. So, my name is Aaron Haag.
And I'm John Bryant.
Stay punk. Oh, wait. Welcome to the Pod Punk Show. All right, how you been, man? How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing okay. I can't complain.
This is like my favorite time of the city where it's stopping to be summer and we're going into fall.
You know, my favorite time in New York City?
What's that?
It's actually the first time I moved here was I came in October.
Yep. That's my favorite month in the city.
Because like it's not tourist season.
Yeah.
It's like kids are back, but like it feels like it's this weird transition period where the city kind of like calms the fuck down.
Yeah, it's kind of like a moment for like real New Yorkers. It's like enjoy what you got going on here because Christmas is coming, and that means so are the tourists.
But it's also not winter.
Yeah, it's not winter yet, but yeah, no, it's gorgeous. Where it's just like
I was born in October. I've always really enjoyed fall.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. My anniversary is in October.
Oh wow, that's awesome. My birthday's at the end of August, so my favorite months have always been like September, October, November, like those 3 right there.
My older sister's birthday is in October. My mom's birthday is in October. My youngest sister's birthday is in October. You know what I think it is?
What?
I think a lot of people are fucking in February, John.
That could be it. That could absolutely be it. I mean, for me though to be born, I'm a New Year's Eve baby.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because I'm August 29th.
Oh yeah, no, that totally works out.
Yeah.
You were definitely the result of the ball drop.
Yeah, it was either the ball drop or it was Saint Nick leaving some cookies.
At least you're not a Boxing Day baby, because then you'd have to explain to everyone what Boxing Day is.
Isn't Boxing Day like the Chinese massacre? Wasn't the Boxer Rebellion?
That's not what that celebrates, John.
What is Boxer Day? Isn't that a Canadian holiday?
Boxing Day?
Is it our holiday or Canada's?
It's Canada.
Speaking of Canada,
I said it was nice.
Speaking of Canada, this week we are doing Simple Plan.
God must hate me, curse before eternity. God must hate me, maybe you should pray for me. I'm breaking down and you can save me. Stuck in hell and I wanna go home.
Okay, so we're doing Simple Plan. This is our second Canadian band. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah, I know. You know me. I love Canada.
Who doesn't? It's America's hat. I thought we were going to be doing at least 50 episodes before we were before we hit our second Canadian band.
I don't know what that's all about.
I don't know what that's all about. Nope, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the thing about Simple Plan, so we did Billy Talent. They're out of Toronto area. They're out of like Toronto is the New York of Canada. I know that's not fair to Toronto. It's its own thing. But for scale, like Toronto's about the same size.
Yeah, and basically when you start to look up talent coming out of Canada, it's usually out of the Toronto area. But we get the special French guys this time.
Yeah, French Canada, which is
Freedom Canada.
There's not even a correlation because like it's almost like when there's a city within a city.
Yeah,
like
it's
how like the city grew around it.
I think though in South Park, the blockheads that are like their stereotypical Canadians, I think they are more of the French Canadians is what they're making fun of.
Oh really?
Yeah.
And I know Montreal is like where there's like comedy is like that's where the mecca of
man.
Show business comedy is.
Oh
anyway.
yeah, it's like Edinburgh, Scotland, and then Montreal, Canada.
Yeah,
like
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh, whatever. I don't know. I just say.
I just think you read more than you talk.
I kind of Fox News it.
Yeah.
As long as I believe it, it's fine.
Some dreams shouldn't come true. So let's do a little quick history about Simple Plan, how they came to be.
Okay, cool. So before we do that, let's talk about the parts here, the bits and parts.
Okay.
So we're dealing with what, a 5-piece?
It's a traditional 5-piece layout.
I like that. And like what I like in pop punk is it tends to, it either goes like a 3-piece where we can multitask or we focus in and everybody needs to do what they're going to do. So we're going to have a rhythm, we're going to have a lead, we're going to have a singer, we're going to have a bass, we're going to have a drummer. That's the same layout for Simple Plan.
There's always exceptions to the rule, but that is true. It's usually 3 or 5. There's very few 4 pieces.
I mean, I could pull out one that has 2 lead singers too. There's always an exception.
Yeah. I know Billy Talent's a 4-piece.
Yep.
But let's be honest. Ian Desai has 2 guitar players and 1 human.
Oh, he's like 1 robot and 100 100 humans. It's absolutely insane.
Oh God, he's so good. But yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to go through the members, or should we go through the history? What do you think?
Yeah, let's go through the history. Let's get it out of the way.
All right. So before Simple Plan, there's this little band coming out of like French Canada called Reset.
Reset, and they're like a real band. Like they're signed. They're a group of friends that were from high school. They're doing well. They're on the Warped Tour.
Yeah, and they still exist. Like this isn't like their first round attempt. So Reset starts. For our story, I'm just going to talk about the people in Reset that are eventually in Simple Plan.
That correlate to Simple Plan. Okay.
So you got the drummer Chuck, and you got the singer Pierre. From Simple Plan. They were in Reset since they were like 13 or 14. That's like their like practice run.
Right. And then I went back and I listened to some of Reset because I wasn't really familiar with them, and they're very Green Day.
Also, I was listening to, I felt more MXPX with like Green Day at the same time. Like I heard a lot of that MXPX like simplicity.
Yeah, it's kind of like they sound like a 3-piece. I don't think they are. I think they're 4-piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, they sound like a 3-piece punk band basically.
So all throughout high school, Chuck and Pierre, they're in this band, and then Pierre, Chuck, drummer, he leaves to go to law school, right?
Of course, why not?
Because I'm pretty sure his parents made him.
Yeah, and then I think you were telling me it seems like Pierre got mad at him and wrote a song about him.
Yeah, there's a song by Reset called Friend.
Yeah.
Which is just Pierre like being pretty mad at Chuck for leaving the band.
So he's not singing about how good of friends they were, is what you're trying to tell me.
No. This isn't The Fox and the Hound.
Oh, man. This is so high school. I love it.
Or this is The Fox and the Hound, but the second half of the film.
Yeah, man. I love it. You're in a band. You have a voice. You have a soapbox. I'm going to tell everybody why Chuck sucks because he's going to be a lawyer.
Well, if you want to be any level of punk, you can't be a lawyer.
Yeah, no. That's not what you need.
What's a punk rock lawyer? Like just a dude who's really good at arguing?
I guess. I have no idea.
I think I'd be a good punk rock lawyer.
You might be. I mean, you do like to argue.
Your Honor, that is a faux hawk, not a mohawk. I rule to drop all charges.
I'm going to say that they weren't really moshing, so it's not actually a crime. That doesn't even make sense.
Is moshing a crime? Moshing should not be a crime.
Moshing is not a crime.
Haag and Brian.
Neither is skateboarding.
2020.
That's right. I love it.
I hope you don't mind that I made you vice president.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, Haag, because the first name is always the president.
I thought second is the best.
No, because here's the thing.
Third is the one with the hairy chest.
You get protection.
First is the worst. No, I'm cool with that. It's cool.
Well, because also here's the thing, vice president, you get the entire benefits of like people around you constantly to like die before you.
Are we talking about Canadian vice president or are we talking about American vice president?
Is there a vice prime minister? Vice minister?
I don't know what they do up there.
By the way, vice minister would be a good band name.
Vice minister would be copyright 2017. John Bryan.
I said it first, motherfucker.
You did say it first, but I copyrighted it first.
Oh, goddamn American legal system.
That's right. So you don't have it. If this was the Canadian legal system, you might have a case, but you do not.
Because Canada does the things that the laws are meant to do, where America's like, how can we fuck it up?
Yeah, how can we not do that? Cool, man.
Canada's all execution. America is all just like, what can we do?
Absolutely. So this dude's in law school.
Yeah.
And he basically, it seems like he's kind of like, you know what, man, I got the itch. Like, I'm sick and tired of these books. I want to hit some drums again. So he kind of like reaches back out to a couple old friends. What's that? Jeff and Sebastian.
Yeah, two guitar players that he knew from his hometown.
Yeah, he's like, hey, man, what's going on? Let's like jam. And so they get together and you have a great rhythm guitarist and you have an amazing lead guitarist.
Yeah, Jeff Stinko. So just really quick for visualization, because they're all white dudes from Canada.
You said Stinko, right?
I think so. Is that right?
No, I heard Cinco, and I'm like, they're not Mexican. I was like, what's going on? No, I literally heard that.
The Jeff 5.
Yeah, Jeff 5.
That would be his. Ocho Cinco like football name.
That's awesome. Yeah, so we have a little piece, a little 3-piece happening right now.
Yeah. Well, really quick though, you were saying he's an amazing lead player. So just for visualization, you probably if you know what anyone in Simple Plan looks like, you probably know what the singer looks like.
Yeah,
because the camera follows him.
Yeah, he's the face of the band.
Jeff is the bald one with the lip ring. He's the guy who plays lead. And also, if you want to watch a video of a dude playing guitar like with mechanical accuracy,
he's like a robot.
Yeah, robot sounds like we're almost saying like uncreative. Like he's really good parts.
That means you just do everything perfect every single time.
Accuracy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. And so you got those 3 guys, and then basically, like they say, it's a Sugar Ray concert. They just run into each other. But Pierre and the drummer Chuck, who Pierre already wrote not a great song about him, they all of a sudden get back together. Flattering. And honestly, like when you're at a Sugar Ray concert, can you really be mad at somebody? No,
because you're just happy about that fork over in bed you got.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. So he's
like, you know what about this argument? Shut the door, baby. Don't say a word.
That's right. I just wish I was like the DJ. I could just like yell stuff like he did.
Shut the door, baby. Don't say a word. So they get back together. So basically what happens then, so Pierre leaves Reset at this point and joins what will become or is Simple Plan.
So we have like 2 guys guys that are from Reset, the founding member of Reset, are now the founding members of Simple Plan, technically.
Yeah, and also, quick side note though, at this time in Reset, Pierre started playing bass as well as singing.
This is getting so confusing. So basically, Chuck brings in Pierre. They've made up, and Pierre is now going to be the lead singer of Simple Plan and also their bassist.
Right.
Spoiler alert. He's not playing bass right now.
No. So
where'd they get their bassist?
So after Pierre leaves Reset, this new guy comes in.
Yes.
And he's playing bass and singing for Reset.
Okay.
And then
he's their new front man.
Yeah, he basically replaced Pierre both singing and bass-wise.
Okay.
And then they realized in Simple Plan, hey, we can put on better live shows, and it's easier for Pierre to sing instead of play bass and sing at the same time.
Don't multitask anymore.
Yeah, let's specialize a little here.
Okay.
So then the guy that replaced Pierre in Reset now then also joins Simple Plan.
Cold-blooded. That is crazy. So they actually steal the guy that replaced the guy that they just stole.
Yeah.
But these bands are still friends.
Yeah, like Reset's still a band. They played. There was a couple years where Reset and Simple Plan played Warped Tour the same year.
That's so crazy.
And they've actually done a couple concerts together. Like,
I'm sure
and
that's
like
cool.
playing together and stuff.
There's a band called Newfound Glory, and their main songwriter Chad. He came
Not
out
familiar.
of he came out of a band called Shy Halud, and they're really great hardcore band out of South Florida. And every once in a while, like you'll go to like one of their concerts and he just might be fronting them. He used to be like their singer screamer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's happened before. It's pretty cool. But I mean, that's awesome when bands do that type of stuff.
They're still friends and all that.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you do business. Just like don't make it personal and just move on, but keep your options open.
Absolutely. Why hold grudges, man?
Absolutely. It's awesome. So now we're dealing with the Simple Plan that we all know and love.
Yeah, and we have the setup of who is in Simple Plan.
So the band Simple Plan ends up coming out with their first album, which is what we're going to focus in on this episode.
Yeah, no pads, no helmets, just balls.
Which that's awesome, by the way. I give them mad props on that. So they're going to sign with Lava Records. And Lava Records is basically a major record label. And it's just a subsidiary of Atlantic Records. But I just thought it was really, really awesome. So this guy, Jason Flom, is like the CEO of Lava.
Yeah.
And basically, he was like the best A&R that Atlantic Records like ever had. And
Right.
like in the 80s, he signed all these crazy bands like Twisted Sister and everybody else. He comes into the 90s, he's still killing it. He rises up through it. And it almost gets to the point where like he's basically just take over the entire company.
Right.
But instead, they just give him like his own company to run inside the company.
It's the thing, what you want to do anytime you have a job like this.
Yeah.
You want to be indispensable.
Oh, absolutely.
And he got to the point where, like, if he would have left, it would have fucked Atlantic so much.
Oh, it's incredible.
So they're just like, how about we just, we give you, like, your own office. We don't tell you what to do.
Yeah, no,
we just want to keep a taste.
It was a situation where it's like, if he doesn't get something, he's going to head something else. We might as well give him that to head. It was pretty cool. And so he's also responsible for Haley from Paramore. He was part of the process of getting that band together.
Of discovering Haley.
He's got Simple Plan on his belt. He also just put out Lord. Like this guy is like nonstop.
Yeah, he's still going.
He's legendary. He's literally like one of the best A&Rs or ears for music and
Is
finding
he
bands.
also Katy Perry?
Yeah, Katy Perry too. Like
Which
it's absolutely insane.
Is the second biggest pop singer in the world right now?
like if everybody go look him
Right
up.
after Taylor Swift.
That's right. Well, you are really into Taylor Swift.
Let's not get into it.
Your
but
Lord
yes.
and Savior is how you,
You know
always call
what?
her.
Do you know what year she was born? You know what year I was born?
She was born in 1986, right?
19. God fucking damn it, John. 1989. One of the
How do
best
you know
pop
that?
albums. It's one of the name of the best pop albums of all time.
Oh, I thought it was 1986.
No, 1989. You motherfucker. You're from 86.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, which is too old to be awesome. No, Taylor Swift. Don't even like. When that album came out, when 1989 came out.
You know, it was the Mets rally baby, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about Taylor Swift. Like you're talking about crackers. I'm
the
talking
Mets
about filet mignon.
won the World Series, and I was in the Daily News as their rally baby. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, that is pretty awesome.
Yeah, we'll put that photo up.
We should put that. We'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really quick though, when 1989 by Taylor Swift came out, you're not getting away from this topic. When 1989 by Taylor Swift came out, I listened to nothing else for 3 months. In stand-up, I started every set for 3 months, doing like 5 minutes about telling people like, "Do you like this album? You should." If
Have
you
you,
like it, I like it more than you do. It's the amazing pop album.
Have you heard the Ryan Adams version of it?
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh
Ryan
my God,
Adams
I love
sucks.
it. No, it's so good. So much better than the Taylor Swift
Fuck
version.
that. Ryan Adams version is all like, ooh, what if I just made everything sad?
If I'm crazy, it made me love it too. I do like her song "Welcome to New York." I have to say that.
Johnny New York likes the New York song?
That's the cheesiest song on the album, though.
Did you ever see that video that she did for the city of New York?
I've never seen the Taylor Swift video except for the one Kanye's
No,
in.
this isn't a music video. This is literally her explaining like what Soho means and NoHo means.
That's awesome.
And what a stoop is.
Isn't she from Nashville?
Yeah, no, but she
Oh,
like
that's
it was
cool.
part of like her moving to New York thing, but also like for the city government, she basically made this like tourist video, like
And you'll hear people refer to NoHo or Soho. NoHo stands for north of Houston. Soho stands for south of Houston.
That's how we can tell if somebody's from the city or not, how they say Houston or Houston. Because I think right now Houston is flooding, but Houston is not.
no, Houston is just flooded with tourists, probably.
Oh, yeah, that's very true. I didn't think about it like that. It's all about how you explain it.
What were you talking about before I brought up Taylor Swift?
Yeah, before we went off on Taylor Swift, who he did not find Taylor Swift, the guy from Lava Records, but
You don't find the sun, John.
everybody should look him up because he is he's absolutely incredible. Doesn't shock me. He brought one of the best pop punk bands ever.
He just knows how to find talent. Like he found Lorde in like the middle of like New Zealand.
Yeah, it's nuts. And she was like 14 at the time. Like it's absolutely insane.
So like let's break it down though. I know Katy Perry. I know these other ones. I want you to wow me. Give me like some like who's who list that he had a hand in.
Okay, so we're gonna say Twisted Sister.
Okay.
Skid Row.
Okay.
Tori Amos.
Okay.
Stone Temple Pilots.
Good call.
Authority Zero.
Oh, I like them.
Kid Rock. Matchbox 20.
Oh, it's 3 a.m.
Sugar Ray.
Oh, I love Through Gray.
Uncle Cracker. Vanessa Williams.
Okay.
Simple Plan.
Nice call.
Lord.
Ah, that's a good pick.
Jesse J.
Did we just turn this into Bring the Thunder? Like I just started giving opinions without meaning
Yeah,
to?
man. I think we just brought the thunder.
What you're trying to say is that the record label that found them is basically has an amazing track record of finding the best things to develop into like a full-fledged pop act.
Yeah, he has more hits than misses is basically what we're trying to say here.
That's fantastic. How about we take a break and we come back in and we'll dig into the album specifically?
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Let's do it.
This could be the one last chance to make you understand. Yeah, I'd do anything just to hold you.
Hey guys, we hope you're enjoying the show. If you are, it would help us out a lot if you could rate, review, and subscribe in iTunes or however else you get your podcasting fix. Or better yet, just tell somebody you know via word of mouth. It goes a lot farther than you think.
I hear it, and I just can't believe it. All the stupid things you say, but one day I won't take this anymore. One day.
Let's talk about this album.
Okay.
Okay, this thing comes out in 2002.
Yeah.
4 singles.
Yeah.
4. That's insane for an album. 4 to 5, like that's really that's not very often that happens.
And what's funny too is it's not a situation of diminishing returns. Their fourth single,
Yeah.
Perfect, was the biggest by far.
It's my favorite song by them, but it's only 12 tracks long. That's 25% singles. That's insane. That's a hit writing machine.
Oh yeah, that's your batting average there is insane.
Yeah. So how do you feel about this album? Like what's your memory of it? We're going to travel back to 2002. What's going on in Aaron's life?
Let's see. I'm still living in Iowa, obviously.
Okay.
I'm just now becoming a really moody prick of a teenager.
Okay. How many friends do you have that are cows?
None. I didn't have friends, humans or cows.
Oh wow, that's impressive. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't like anybody, John.
They move in herds too, so I'm impressed that you weren't with them.
But this album, it kind of falls into this thing of like, as if you've listened to the show, you know that I went through a very like punk snob phase.
Yeah, you did.
This is one of those bands that like fell right on that timeline of like I'm transitioning into a punk snob. So like publicly, I wouldn't admit how much I liked this album.
Oh, you were a closet Simple Plan fan?
It started as Full Out and then became Closet because I'm like, no, I like No Effects and Bad Religion. And
Oh,
I'm
wow.
Like, I'd do anything.
Oh man, like if somebody could have got like footage of that, they could ruin you in middle school.
Yeah, that'd be like the tack ad on my punk
Oh,
credibility.
it'd be over.
Aaron Haag says he likes punk rock, and it's just me being like, sorry, I can't be perfect.
He's on your bed crying. And the other thing I'm kind of impressed is like
and now I'm feeling all cringy, man.
you're like the anti-emo, and this band, in my opinion, is very, very much in the definition of emo. Like, what gives with that?
All right, so my whole thing with emo, a lot of it,
Yeah.
is I don't like the victim mentality of a lot of emo songs.
Okay.
And as much as this song, like this album is totally like you could call this an emo album just as much as you could call it a pop punk record.
Right.
With like hands down, like I can't deny that.
So like my whole thing is like whenever you're doing like real emo, I always think it's about like heartbreak, and like their songs do kind of touch like breakups, but like for the most part, it's not always like at the girl. I think is what's kind of cool about it.
Well, see, that is true, and it's also more the problems of like fighting with your parents, and also like
Right.
feeling like no one gets you. Like,
Right, of course.
emo to me much more is about being 16, where this album is about being 14.
Right. Sung perfectly by 24-year-olds.
But there's also this side of all these songs, they feel like they're an active participant. And it's like, yeah, things suck, but one day I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Or like there's always an action to be taken instead of a lot of emo just seems like it's just they're staying in the self-pity stage without a plan.
So for you, it's not actually like the tone of the song, like how the guy is singing it. It's more about what he's singing about.
If we're talking about Simple Plan and Pierre's emo wine,
Yeah.
to me, that's a different type of emo wine than like Burt McCracken from The Used, which is
Okay.
like, yeah, like his almost like his makes me sound like, dude, just stand up and just do something about it. Like,
Don't like squeeze it out. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Where this one's like more like he's being pissy and moody
Okay.
than he's being full of self-pity.
See, my biggest problem with this album, and I'm a little bit older than you. I'm 3 years older than you. So when this one came out, it kind of like was just like, oh, okay, it's on the radio, it's on MTV, it's on TRL. I had never heard of them before, so like it just comes out of nowhere.
And see, I think a huge problem of this album
Yeah.
that a lot of people have is how this comes into your radar and the age are more important than anything on it itself. So,
Right.
like for me, I heard about this before like Perfect had come out.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how, but it came across my radar early.
Yeah. Well,
And-
Perfect was the last single that came out on the album.
And that's the one that took them from like stars to superstars.
Right.
But if you just see them like, because they are so mall punk looking.
Because they came out with I'm Just a Kid, and then they went into I Do Anything, which is, I think, one of the best pop songs ever. And then they go right into Addicted, and then they close it out with Perfect.
Right. When Perfect is like, if they would have led with that, oh my God.
Right? Perfect is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, but also this album to me falls a lot into the same thing as I call it the Good Charlotte conundrum.
Okay, what's that?
This is so specifically targeted at a certain age demographic or a certain time in your life lyrically.
Yeah.
That like, honestly, John, you're how old are you? You're 30?
Yeah, I'm 30 right now.
So you're too old to really appreciate anything he's talking about.
I think he is too.
No, he was like 22 when this was
Yeah,
written.
that's true.
Which like is a little bit older.
Yeah,
But also when you're 14,
I think he was actually like 23 or 24, I think.
he was 23, but also at the same time, like he is saying what a 14-year-old doesn't have the words for, just the emotion of.
Right, they don't have the maturity to actually put it to live journal.
Exactly, but like this album is like it is the most. It's almost like it's you know how they say lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
This album is puberty in a bottle. Like it's literally
awesome.
all the feelings you go through of like none of my friends are cool or nobody
Right.
wants to talk to me. My parents don't get me. They don't understand.
It's like estrogen on a CG.
yeah, well, not estrogen.
That's just me being a dick. Come on, I gotta have like some way to work with this. Come on.
Oh, that's fine. And do you get what I'm saying though? How I
Yeah,
think this
absolutely.
is a like I said, it's like a toy commercial. Like if you
Right.
were watching TV and a toy commercial comes on,
Yeah.
you won't even register that it's on. But a little kid, like they know
Right.
how to hit their
It's
target.
like the frequency like they actually work on.
Yeah, it's almost like it is
Yeah.
the frequency you can't
No,
hear.
I mean when like I'm old enough now that I can look back and then take that as a press. But like when I'm on the age this album comes out, I'm like, whoa, stranger danger. Like this is not okay. But also it wasn't for me, like basically. So like that's really how I felt.
Also, this album, like, it really fit in a lot of like my problems, like growing up, and a lot of like.
I'm sure it was
'cause I grew up
perfect.
in a small town of all like fucking
Yeah.
redneck dudes with pickup trucks.
I'm not saying they're bad by any means. Like they're an amazing band. I always have to, have appreciation. I mean, it went freaking double platinum. Like that's alone. Like you can't.
Oh, exactly. Well, like I say, like there's a difference between what I like and what is good. And
Right,
there's other
exactly.
things that are good that I just don't like.
Okay.
You love food analogies. You know me. Like I would rather
course.
eat Kraft macaroni and cheese than I would rather go to like a 5-star restaurant where they put like breadcrumbs or shit on it.
Right. I know what you mean.
Fucking why do people ruin mac? Anyway, it bugs me. It's
Yeah.
like no, this is.
You ever
from-
had Cracker Barrel?
No.
You would love it.
Well, it's basically like an old country buffet, right?
Yeah, and it's not a buffet. Like you actually order stuff. And I'm not saying that as like a knock on you. I think it's like it was made for you. Like you would love it.
Yeah, it's middle of the road high
And
school
it's
lunch
like
food.
yeah, and like when you walk into, there's like a huge gift store that before the actual restaurant. It's just like no, but it's just like stupid shit that I always like walk in. I'm like, oh my god, I need that. You don't fucking need that, but like it's something like you would be like, oh my god. It's so
Never
fucking
been a big
awesome.
fan of like tchotchke type things like that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Like
I have to bring you in one. There's none around
I think
here.
I would appreciate it as a from the outside, but I was never a guy. I never wanted my T-shirt to speak for me. If that
Well,
makes
no,
sense.
yeah, it's like it's not T-shirts though. It's just like knickknacks. Like it's I am
Oh,
telling
where
you.
they have like a bald eagle on a rock.
Like the same way like we like the new tech stuff that you're like, you don't really need that, but we get off on that. It's kind of
Yeah.
like that for like hickey stuff. I think you would like it. I want to bring you to one.
Am I right though that it's a lot of like bald eagle statues and like it's basically the consumer goods of a truck stop?
No, it's like just like weird games and stuff. Like I don't know. I haven't really been in one in a while. Now I kind of want to go to one.
Hang on. Where's the closest Cracker Barrel?
I don't see any matching restaurants.
Well, we're out of luck.
That's right. We're north of the Mason-Dixon line. That's what that just said. Please try again.
Siri always keeping us in line.
Did you mean the South lost?
You know what I actually say? I think the South will fall again.
Yeah.
All right, now that we lost everybody where it's warm in the winter.
I was gonna say we've been doing really hot in Canada though, so like I have to say like we right now Set Your Goals just came out. It's episode 10, and I don't know what happened on that Friday, but Canada spoke.
Yeah,
That's all I have to say.
it just got a spike and it was all in Quebec. But
We had more plays on the Friday instead of the day it came out. We usually do really well on the day it came out. And they were all from Canada. I was like, what the hell?
What's amazing too is that if I was listening to the show, I'd be like, oh, so they're doing Simple Plan because they're from Montreal.
Yeah.
No, we have episodes planned out from now until the end of the year.
We're trying to be professional here. This might sound like a shit show, but there is some thought and planning put into it.
No, it's a well-planned shit show.
It's a well-planned shit show. That's right.
Because also, this is episode 14.
Right.
Episode 10 just came out. If we were really good businessmen, this would have been episode 11.
No, of course. And like, I would have loved to, like, if there was like actual footage of us like talking about the areas at first in Canada, because like we had no idea.
And then, do you want to know a little fun fact though about Canada? This just popped into my head.
Hit me with it. I love fun facts.
So if you're wearing a sweatshirt and it has a hood on it, what do you call that?
I call that a hoodie.
A hoodie?
Yeah.
Like a Mark Zuckerberg hoodie, right?
Yeah, of course.
There's one province in Canada that calls it the most adorable thing in the whole world. Do you know what they call a hoodie in Saskatchewan?
What is that?
A bunny hug.
Oh,
isn't that just the best?
Is that Eskimos or something?
No. I think it's just adorableness. Like, honestly, if you're like, oh, hang on, honey, I got to grab my bunny hug.
Do they have like zoos and it's only bunnies in the zoo?
Oh, no, but like copyright Aaron Haag 2017.
Oh, son of a... I should have jumped on it. You know what, though? When you open that zoo, I'm going to let a polar bear loose in it.
That's
Copyright
okay.
John Bryan 2017. Bitch.
He just copyrighted bear attacks?
Yeah, that's mine. I got it. I'm winning.
So what was your first, what, do you have any memory? I have another really cringy memory of this, but I don't want to get to it yet.
Yeah, like I don't, but like I don't hate them. Like I told you, I think I told you like when we were talking about them, I was like, I realized like I like them a lot more when I'm with close friends and we've had like 3 beers and we're just playing like a mixtape of like songs and like one of their songs comes on.
It almost lets your grown up taste kind of like fall to the back of your mind.
Right.
It almost lets you accept it for what it is, like a suspension of disbelief. Almost.
Right. And like I've seen them live. Like I saw them on the Warped Tour, which they're always like. It seems like they were like one of the bands that's like maybe like on the most Warped Tours or at least up there. Like it seems like they're always
might
on
be.
it.
Yeah, they have a good run of Warped Tour.
Because like I told you the story where I was sitting towards the back of one of the main stages and like this guy sat down kind of close to me and I just like kept looking at him, but he had his like in-ear still in.
Yeah.
I was like that is the coolest like deaf guy I've ever seen in my entire life. And then I realized I was like, oh, it's the rhythm guitarist Simple Plan and his girlfriend. But I was just like, man, that deaf guy's got like style. His hair's perfect. Like he's got good form. I was like, man, that's a really cool dude. And I was like, that's crazy.
And just for the people at home, an in-ear, what John's referring to, it's a monitor. It's basically, it looks just like a hearing aid.
Yeah, and like this was like back then too. So like it was like a big thing. It wasn't like the one of the ones that actually just fits in like an earplug.
No, yeah.
Like
so,
this is like behind it.
An in-ear, what you use on stage for, it looks like a hearing aid, but what it really does is it's connected to like a wireless frequency so they can hear all the other members on stage clearly so they can play together.
It's absolutely
great. It's like a monitor on the front of the stage, but just in your head.
Or if you hate one of your band members, you can actually just take him out.
Wait, do you mean with like a hitman or like in your ear?
Oh, you can take him out in your ear or hitman, whatever you want to do. It's Simple Plan. You can do whatever you want.
I feel like we could just start Simple Plan and stop being in Reset if we were going to kill people, John.
I know, right?
By the way, is this podcast Simple Plan for us or is this podcast our reset for our future podcasts?
I don't know. I hope it's our reset, but I mean, not that I'm not okay with this, but you know.
So is that really your only kind of memory tied to them that you have for Simple Plan?
Yeah, I wish I could give you more here, man, but I'd do anything to be able to give you more, just to hold you in my hands.
Every time you do one of those, it's not when I go, God damn it and stuff, it's not anger at you.
I know.
It's because, like, honestly, it is such a John Bryan thing. I have an appreciation for it.
To be honest with you,
because you got me to laugh.
To be honest with you, I'm a dick. I'm addicted to you. Oh, man, even the music in our ears went silent. There should have been some crickets there, man. I do have to say, though, do you know any other songs that kind of do what that song does?
Addicted to You?
Yeah.
Well, there's a famous song like that that's really dirty.
It's the one, You Make Me Come, You Make Me Complete, You Make Me Completely Miserable.
Oh no, that's a good example. There's actually like a folk song that's like where it's actually like a waltz and it keeps going, like every time it sounds like they're about to say something really dirty, but it then starts the next sentence.
My teacher was a dun 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 dun
Yeah,
dun
and it just keeps, like, it's always an innuendo.
There is a piece of glass, and when
Yep.
she sat upon it, she broke her little. Ask me no more questions and tell me no more lies. The boys are in the bathroom, pulling down their flies are in the country. The bees are in the park. The boys and girls are kissing in the Yeah, man, that's a good one.
Here's the thing. There's got to be like a linguistic or like a literary term for what that is.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because it's definitely like a device in writing.
I think it's called bum fucking.
bum fucking.
Yeah.
That's way better than bum fighting.
Yeah, but definitely.
You know what? I actually like to quote Sublime.
Bang bros and bum fights, no good.
I like to quote Sublime whenever I can.
Yeah.
Bum fucking and bum fighting, it's all the same.
Well, you have to.
To
If
live
you-
with Louis Dog's the only way to stay
Oh,
sane.
Louis Dog, man. I hope he's still alive. Did he overdose from heroin too or no?
No, oddly enough, kibble and bits.
Oh, man.
Hang on, let's actually take a moment to pour some out for Louis Dog.
Let's do it.
So I do have a really embarrassing memory that I don't want to bring up on the show right now, but I've told you before, and I know you're not going to let me weasel out of.
Is this one when your parents call you jacking off?
Dude, why would I get caught? My parents didn't pay any attention to me. They didn't know where I was. They didn't care if I was alive or dead.
There was one of my friends had a foundation called Invisible Children, and I was like the kids in Africa, but you were basically an invisible child too. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
In Iowa.
I feel bad for you, man.
It's okay. I'm doing good now.
You're doing fine now. You're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm married. I have an apartment.
Yeah.
All right, so I can't remember if my whole family was there or if it was just me and my dad. I think the whole family was there. So we're on this car trip.
Okay.
And we had this policy music-wise in the car. So my family's very musical. Like my dad plays, my little sister sings and
Right.
stuff like that.
Okay.
And we had a 5-disc CD changer in the back.
Oh, wow.
And we each had one of our own CDs or mixtape in there, and we would just play everybody's music.
It's like the original iPod there.
Yeah, it really was. And it was really just like pure democracy.
Yeah, it's great.
So anyway, I was fighting with my dad about something one day, and like we get in the car, we had this Ford Expedition, I'm in the back seat.
Right.
And Perfect comes on. My dad goes to like change it or skip it. And I go,
Yeah.
don't. Because like I'm so like moody. And so like this
I just see you because like you're so big. Like you're like 6'2". So I'm picturing you at the exact same size. But for whatever reason, you have two sisters, right?
Yeah, younger.
For whatever reason, you're in the middle seat. So like when he looks in the rearview mirror, he can't see anything but you.
Oh no.
Don't.
I was actually behind the passenger seat, so he could totally see me. But here's what happens.
Okay.
I hate this. I hate myself so fucking much right now. So because like we were fighting. So perfect. You know the song "Perfectly Simple Plan." It is the
Yeah.
most like.
But we'll
emo.
go into that in a minute because I think it's really, really sad.
I with my eyes closed, like facing the window away.
Yeah.
This whole song plays, and I'm like singing along every word.
Yeah.
And when I finally like open my eyes, and like when it's like the bridge of the breakdown, I look
Yeah.
up and I can see my dad like a tear coming down his face in the mirror, and I'm like, sorry, I can't be.
Do you think he was crying because
like,
he
look at
felt
me. I have
bad?
goosebumps of how fucking cringy I am at myself right now.
Do you think he was crying because he felt bad for you?
Oh yeah, no, he didn't feel bad for me.
Or he felt bad about the song?
Yeah, no, like I made him feel like a fucking just terrible human.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Because
Like-
I couldn't tell like if it was him like actually being like moved by the song, and he's like, "Oh man, I feel bad about it," because like it is like the kid saying like, "I wish I could just be perfect for my
I think
parents."
it was him realizing that his son hates him.
Or if he just thought you were like a pussy, and he's like, "Oh my god."
Because as much as we talk about like how like I was very on my own as a kid,
Yeah.
I had a great dad. He just
Yeah.
wasn't around because we were poor and he worked as much as he could so we could eat.
That's amazing.
Like he was a great father, but
Yeah.
like I was also 14, so I was like,
Right.
fuck it all.
That's
you
funny,
all
man.
should die.
So that song is supposedly supposed to be about the drummer's family. Because they were the ones that were like mad at him. They made him go to law school.
Yeah.
And then he dropped out of law school. And that's like him like basically telling them like, hey, I'm going to go form a TRL pop punk band. So you
Yeah.
can't really be
I'm
mad
gonna
at
make
me.
more money than
Yeah.
ever could.
You know, like the best lawyer? Well, he's going to work for us and we're going to pay him money, a salary. So how do you like that, mom and dad? Sorry, I can't be perfect.
Because we lost it all.
But I mean, I think that one too, just for the way that Pierre's voice sounds on this, because it doesn't sound like that on every album. Like after that, he kind of
No. There's actually a story of the producer on this album.
Okay.
Really pushed Pierre to
Pushed
go
him to
his
do
most
that.
whiny, and like the producer was right. That like
Yeah.
it fit, especially
it's what needed to be done for
it
that.
fits the time. It fits the target demographic.
Right.
It fits the song.
Because like if you hear him in Reset, he doesn't sound like that. Like
No, he just sounds like a good pop punk singer.
Yeah, and like that's the main thing is like I don't know. I every once in a while, like when you're in your teens, you would go to like some girl's birthday party or like her confirmation. It's always like she's younger than you. She's
I've
in
heard
like
about
second
these.
grade. She's always a little chunky. And for whatever reason, her dad lets her sing like a song. And it's never, it's just flat and nasally. And like, that's what, and like everyone just like sits through it. And at the end, they're like, and you're like, oh my God, why would you do that? But that he's not like that because he's a good singer. But that's what it reminds me of every time I hear him.
And the hum of the
Yeah, exactly.
brave.
Yeah, but it's like through like their nose, and you're just like, oh my God, please stop. Like, your daddy's little girl. I get it, but like, you should not be.
He
doing
does
this
have
right
that
now.
perfect like amount of like 14-year-old like I said, this album
Yeah.
is puberty. His whininess on this almost sounds like his voice is still changing.
Yeah, but like that's what I think. I think perfect. Just like that actually works with like his tone in this album.
So this album, my whole theory of this album, my kind of feeling of this album,
Right.
is it is like I said, it's McDonald's. It's almost like airbrushed perfect pop punk.
Yeah, it's like very, very, very tight.
And it's still, like I said, it's the closest you can get to like pure pop and still have just enough to call it pop punk.
Right, and it's like really, really teetering that line though. But I know exactly what you mean.
And kind of my theory of why they are the ones to do this and why they were so well set for this is a combination of two things.
They're Canadian.
Well, and Canadians are just better than Americans. We learned that with Billy Talent, episode 5. I think it is a mix of two different things here that's at play.
Okay.
So Chuck and Pierre have been playing pop punk and playing in like bands since they were like 13.
Right. So they have like a very, very like they're now like 23. They already have like almost 10 years together.
Right. but
On and
there's-
off.
13 is also a very important age. So between 10 to 15,
Okay.
and more like 10 to 14, there's actually a phenomenon with the human brain.
Okay.
Like if you're going to learn a second language, or if you're going to learn how to play piano, the ages between like 10 to 14, your brain is the most flexible and your brain is the most flexible and has the ability to adapt more than it will the rest of your life.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's
so
called
like,
neuroplasticity.
so like whatever you actually like learn in that time and like really focus in on.
So basically, if there's something you want to do in your life right now, listener, and you haven't mastered it and you're not 14 anymore,
Yeah.
you're never going to be the best.
So I can only be the best class skipper I think ever.
I thought you were going to say masturbator.
I know I was going to, but I mean we already knew that. So
Yeah, like look at your forearms. You're a beast.
absolutely, it's like Popeye.
You're an Adonis from the elbow down. So I think that's the first part. Is like they've been doing this a long time. So they've like it's my whole theory. If you had to write 1,000 songs before you write your first truly great song.
Right. It's like what is that? The 10,000 hours. What is that from? Outliers.
Yeah, Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Okay. So they put in their 10,000 hours. What you're basically saying.
Yeah, and also then they found these two guitar players who are amazing. I've watched the rhythm guitar player play. He has the right amount of like aggression, not aggression because it's simple playing. That's the wrong word.
He also
has the
has-
right
he has
amount
a-
of activity.
He has a great look too.
Yeah, no,
He's a great looking rhythm guitarist.
no, and he perfectly like just fits the mold for what they need.
It's
in
perfect,
every
yeah.
way.
It's like
image and like talent wise.
It's like a Matt Watts from
Yeah.
the starting line there.
And then they also have Jeff on lead guitar, who is like we said before, like he's virtuoso.
Yeah. No,
He can
he's
just
really,
play
really
everything
good.
flawlessly.
Absolutely. He
So-
always really stood out too with the bald head.
Well, because all of them, like he's the only one who can't use hair gel.
Yeah, no, it's good. Well, he can, but it's kind of weird.
Well, what are you gonna do? Like
Shine it up, man. You gotta give it some shine.
Did hair gel give shine?
Well, if you don't use the matte one, yeah, absolutely. Get the gloss. Duh. Come on, man. This is your first rodeo?
This is my first rodeo. Which way are the horses? So, and then my other half, I think the part B of this equation is
Right.
the producer they worked with was the perfect guy to take their pop punk knowledge and then give them the amount of pop polish, the way he worked with them and the way he kind of helped like guide this record.
That makes sense. I watched a video of him talking about recording the band. And he was saying that there was kind of like a lot of tension between them. And he always felt like he was like the old guy, like telling the young guys. And like they just were like, I think he used like a term like piss and vinegar. Like basically, and like I know how that is because like I've recorded an album with a producer and like you do butt heads occasionally, usually on your first one too. Like you kind of do butt heads because like you have like your idea.
Yeah.
And then he has his idea. And in reality, he's correct. He's always right. He's the older guy that's been doing it a lot longer. It's not his first rodeo. And so I can see like where they're coming from with that. And so but basically what you're saying is that this guy was able to actually like put them in the right direction. Is that what you're...
I do. I also think the other half of it too is that he held them to a standard.
Okay.
So this album took, but depending on what sources you go by, either a year and a half or 9 months, which is still a really long time to record.
Oh wow, yeah, that is
Not like they had the basic idea of the songs, a lot of them already from when they were touring.
right.
So like,
I was gonna say that's almost like you're writing the songs in the studio when it takes that long.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think a lot of the reason they had all that attention, he would honestly just be like, no, better. Like they're like, this is great. Look, we're so excited. It's like,
Right.
yeah, but like you can do better. Like he knew, because a producer doesn't work with a band he doesn't believe in. It's like, why they waste their time?
Unless the money's enough, but in this situation, I don't think that was the case.
Well, we're not talking about My Getaway where you guys just paid him off. I'm joking. So you know what I mean? Like I think that's what took it to the next level. And,
Right.
and part of what this album too, and I think this is kind of why it hits a lot of people the wrong way, is it does have a certain level of fakeness to it because of just how tight it is. There's no sloppy. There's nothing unintentional.
No sloppy, yeah. But it also too, like I wouldn't say it's sterile, which is I think also what ends up could happen when you're in that type of situation too. So that is definitely good for them. The fact that it doesn't sound like that.
If someone told me like this whole album to them feels synthetic,
Right.
I can't argue that feeling because I can totally understand how you could hear the same thing I'm hearing,
Right.
and come away with that conclusion.
And then also too, like on top of that, like the people that they have on it that do the cameos is Mark Hoppus from Blink, and then they have Joel Madden from Good Charlotte, and like even that's like almost saying like, you know, you guys are the next pop punk chosen ones that are gonna be on the radio.
It's literally like they're being vouched for.
Yeah, it's like passing of the torch. It's like, yeah, you
I
know,
wouldn't say passion of the torch. I think it was more just like they're accepted into like the brotherhood of like radio pop punk.
listen to these guys. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I completely agree. But like, do you know what I mean about the synthetic thing? Because like, I don't hear it that way, but I also I will be forever biased.
Yeah, no, I mean, you heard it at the right age. You heard it not 13 to 14, so you've actually mastered Simple Plan in your life.
And I also, it's the thing, I can't tell you to a certain extent how good this album is, just because I can tell you how much I like it.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. You have the emotion tied into the actual album.
So it's honestly, I think of this album a lot. It's like it's not if you look at like real punk like No Effects and stuff.
Yeah,
that's like amateur porn. That's like real. Like there's gonna be there's hair. There's like
it's called Gonzo.
It's sweaty. Yeah, this album is not as raw and it's not as aggressive. So it's not amateur porn. This album is the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
Yeah, it's very photoshopped.
Yeah, very airbrushed and very. There's no flaws on this record. I can also see how that is a turnoff.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. I do have to say the singles for me are fantastic, like par none.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like I absolutely love them. I think they're amazing.
This whole album makes me feel like I'm going to middle school again.
Yeah, no, it captures it absolutely.
And I just want to punch Jordan Hoy in the fucking face.
Man, I agree with you. That guy was always a dick.
He was good at sports and like, yeah, you have a single dad. Whoop-de-doo, you're still a prick.
Is he playing in the NFL right now?
No,
so sports don't matter.
Pretty sure he's got his dick in it like a divorcee.
Ayo.
Is it slander if it's someone no one cares about?
Oh yeah, it's slander across the board. But actually, no, it's like it doesn't make a sound if the tree falls. No one's there to hear it. Kind of the same question.
Yeah. What's funny? There's not even trees. It's just cornfields and depression.
The Pope shit in the woods.
So another thing about Simple Plan I always thought was really interesting is they're all still the same guys.
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome. And like the fact that the drummer was the one that like kind of brought them all together.
Oh yeah, drummers don't start bands.
Yeah, like that never happens. So it's pretty unique in that aspect. But yeah, no, they're definitely like they've never got divorced. Mommy and daddy are still together and they're happy.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive. That's always cool. But like I like let's talk about like the big bands here.
Oh, we're going tentpole?
Yeah, so we have Simple Plan.
Okay.
All Together.
Yep.
Green Day. All Together. Fall Out Boy. All Together.
Well, I have to put this footnote in every time.
Goes. Okay.
In my opinion, Fall Out Boy died after Infinity on High, and I was kind of okay to let them go after that album.
Okay.
Everything after that is Fall Out Boy 2. Like,
so
literally like
same guys,
but
their souls are gone.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I wanted to argue.
He gets,
like they're a different band now.
He gets so hung up on this. Like every time we talk about Fall Out Boy, he has to make note. And then what's the other one? When did Andy die?
Andy. Oh, when did they betray their drummer?
Yes, when did they betray their drummer?
It started on Infinity on High because the song like even this ain't a scene, it's a goddamn like that song.
Yeah.
Like he's not like they're not. Like,
he does this every time.
They got the okay.
We can be in a grocery store and we could be talking about Fall Out Boy.
I know this is Simple Plan's episode.
Stop and say. I love it. No, I absolutely love it.
you look at Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent in that band to go around.
They're okay.
3 of them are very, very talented.
They've done okay for themselves.
Okay, so, but they also have Andy Hurley, one of the best fucking punk drummers or like hardcore and pop punk drummers all time.
Right.
I'm not even going to take anyone being a naysayer. I'll fight to the death on this. And what do? Like now you literally just play a bunch of fucking techno bullshit pop music?
They do kind of cut him off at the knees. I agree with that.
Well, honestly, I feel like they neutered him and then like fucking like keep him on a leash.
Oh, but no, they're not all together. He's not the original drummer. So we got to knock him off the list.
Okay, here, this is going to bring up something too, because I want to circle back to what you just said, but I'm going to let you finish the list. We're reading to the 10 polls
Okay,
first.
so the next one is Newfound Glory. We're not going to really touch that one too much, but technically the 4 remaining guys are all the original members.
Yeah.
They are one short. And then Blink-182, when did they get rid of their first guitarist?
It's so hard to remember because like, was that even Blink yet really without Skiba?
Nah, so you have Skiba, Hoppus, and Barker. There was a guy before Barker, Scott, and then there was the other guitarist.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Tim Deluge, I think, right?
They don't fall into that category either.
No, they're one of the tempo bands that has had some mix-ups in the lineup.
So there's Matt, Mark, and Travis.
Oh yeah, remember the Matt, Mark, and Travis show?
The Matt, Mark, and Travis show. Absolutely. It's one of my favorite CDs. So cutting back to Fall Out Boy, what were you going to say with that? Are you going to say like they didn't get good until they got the new drummer? Because
when does a band when do lineup changes count? Because like you were arguing like a founding member thing or stuff like that.
We were also arguing Reset. So Reset started in 1993 when like they were like freshmen in high school. I'm not saying like, okay, well that's convenient, but they weren't like a real band until they actually put out their first album like 96. But it's a nice 93 makes it look like they're longer.
I am literally playing both sides of this argument.
That's where I would, put my argument. When the minute you're signed to an independent record label or higher, that's when your band is started.
I get what you're saying. And Fall Out Boy is one that's hard to argue, but like I almost don't think you would call it Fall Out Boy without Andy Hurley, and that's all I'm honestly. That's part of the reason I call Fall Out Boy now, not Fall Out Boy.
No, but there's a clear difference from that EP, Fall Out Boy's Evening with Your Girlfriend, to Onto the Cork Tree. Clear difference, and yeah, it's the drummer. Like absolutely, there's a reason why they switched drummers.
But
it's
that's
still
my
Fall
whole
Out Boy,
argument, though. Like also, like Blink without Travis isn't Blink.
No, Blink without Travis isn't Blink,
like,
and Blink without Matt isn't Blink. So I get what you're saying there too.
But you know what I mean? Like
absolutely,
there is Blink albums before Travis joined,
right?
But it's literally
he's still
BC and AD.
He's still a second drummer though, and also too like I also would make the argument.
Blink will give you the argument because there's so much time there.
I was gonna say, and also Damn It, and then M&M's and Carousel.
But Fall Out Boy, they had one record that was like literally sounds like a bunch of fucking demos.
Well, yeah, I mean to be honest with you, like you could maybe make the argument that it was good that Fuel by Ramen signed them, so they didn't lose them, and they had to put out that EP to put it out. But
wait, did Evening Out with Your Girlfriend come out on Fueled by Ramen?
I think it did, or was re-released on Fuel by Ramen. If it didn't.
So, but like your argument that like just because you have the same name doesn't count when you start, I think counts also just because they had the name Fall Out Boy doesn't mean that they are what Fall Out Boy is. Like I think like there's a lot of like you see bands like they're like, well in 1997 they had this guy on bass but he left and he's still listed on Wikipedia.
Well,
I'm like that doesn't count.
Well, what backs you up on that? And I'm going to give you like room and leverage is the fact that Fall Out Boy on that EP doesn't have a fan favorite song or like a hit song. If they would have had like at least one of those tracks that's like a fan favorite still.
There is one track off there that is also on Take This to Your Grave, but I get what you're saying, right?
Oh, really? Did you just give me some more points? Did you just lose your leverage?
Oh, no, there's no fan favorites on it. Like, but like,
right,
well,
no, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, if they would have been like a Damn It or like they have like an Eminem or Carousels on it, then yeah, you could make that argument. But I do agree. I would say Fall Out Boy is when Andy joined the band.
Totally.
Even though they were called Fall Out Boy before that with another drummer.
All right, how about we take a quick break? We'll come back with our verdicts. We'll be good to go.
Sounds good to me, man.
I'm always spending, and I feel like I'm living the worst day over and over again. And I feel like the summer is leaving again. I feel like I'm living the worst day. I feel like you're gone, and every day is the worst day ever. And you can't change me, 'cause we lost it all. Nothing lasts forever. I'm sorry, I can't be perfect. Now it's just too late, and we can't go back. I'm sorry, I can't be perfect.
So yeah, let's do our verdicts. I feel like you should go first since this was definitely more me than you on this one.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So and go.
Okay, so if I had to give this album a rating here, I think it's really good. I mean, you can't knock any album that puts out 4 radio hits, and they're not like hits like, oh, I know 3 of them, and I guess the 4th one. Like every single one of them is a hit, and they're amazing.
Absolutely.
And so just that alone puts this album out of 4 out of 5. And I think I'm gonna keep it at a 4 out of 5 because this album to me, although I know it's means a lot to a lot of other people, I just hear the hit songs and I just kind of go through the rest of them. Like, you know what I mean? But I think it's a very, very well made album, and I agree with what you were saying. How this is as close to pop, pure pop, as you can get, but just keeping just enough of like the punk or pop punk side of it to.
It's sugary enough that like
At least keep you on the Warped Tour.
It's basically you could still stock this in the pop punk aisle.
And then as for Simple Plan, I mean, I'm always a fan of a band that has a very well thought out image and knows exactly who they are and how they're going to get it to your ears. So I have to give them a 5 out of 5 with this. And
really, now do you give them like? Because we're talking like when we rate the band, that's their whole like as a whole.
Everything.
You give Simple
Everything
Plan a 5 out of 5.
Yeah. I think they're a perfect band because like you gotta figure you have the one guitarist that's incredible. You have the rhythm guitarist that I think looks like a rhythm guitarist. That's important to me. You have the lead singer who I think looks like a lead singer, and he's decent looking guy. He's a pretty good singer, so you can't do with that. His backup was his replacement from the other band he quit, and the drummer was going to law school and he quit law school. That's a 5 out of 5 to me.
No argument for me. I'm surprised. I was expecting a lot lower on the band rating.
Well, no, I mean you gotta give props where props is due. So maybe that is a little bit surprising considering this entire episode I've been kind of ragging on them.
And I think everything you said is fair because like I still think I have rose-colored glasses on them.
Yeah, because like to me when we did Good Charlotte was an excited 5 out of 5. This is like 5 out of 5. I can't argue with it. You know what I mean? It's like what's good's good.
I do think Good Charlotte, a lot of that is that we felt like we were still like fighting everybody in high school that gave us shit for Good Charlotte.
Oh, that was about time somebody stood up for those Madden boys. Mm-hmm. They're not going to do it on their own.
Joel Benji, we got you.
Word, wicka wicka.
All right, so that's John gives it's a 4 for the album, a 5 for the band.
Yeah, it's a 4 for the album. I would wanted to go 3, but I can't do it just because there are 4 singles. So I'm gonna have to go to one star for each single. So now my question is to Mr. Aaron, who has vivid memories of this band. What is your take on the album?
So this album to me, it's like I said, I keep phrasing it different ways. Like this album is
Aaron
super
just
tight.
stood up. So I
usually do stand up when I do the verdict, almost like I'm soapboxing. It's hard for me to put it a different way than I've already said it. This album is super tight. It reminds me exactly of how old I was when it came out. Like this album takes me to a place, and a lot of music doesn't do that for me. I'm not that kind of music fan.
Yeah.
But like I had a vivid memory of my dad.
Yeah.
I have so many memories of like what they talk about in this, and just like that feeling of not belonging. And this album to me leads you into, this is like Yu-Gi-Oh getting you into fucking Magic the Gathering.
That's awesome.
Like it kind of leads you into like it's annoying how like I feel I don't fit anywhere. And then punk is like fuck fitting in to begin with.
Right. No, that's cool.
I give this album a 4 out of 5. Like I don't think it's a 5 out of 5. It's not there's better pop punk albums.
Right.
There's more nuance to a lot of pop punk albums. Like there's no nuance to this album.
No, it's what it is.
It's not ambiguous at all.
Absolutely. I agree with the 4 out of 5. I think you're on with that.
And then I give Simple Plan the band a 3 out of 5.
Whoa, 3 out of 5. Really?
Yeah, I do.
Go on.
Because this is the Pod Punk show and we talk about pop punk.
Yeah.
This and the one after this I'll give. Still, you could call it a pop punk record.
Right.
After that, they are not a pop punk band. They are a pop rock band. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right, okay.
But they are not a legendary tons of pop punk album band.
The album after this is called Still Not Getting Any, correct?
Which is great.
That's a great, but also what the name really is, they're talking about respect. And that's why they named that album that. And I just think it's interesting that they just never get the respect they deserve, I think. It's a band I think that I don't love them, but I do think you got to respect them. I'm not saying you don't respect them.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah. But they always, I do get like why they feel like that. Cause even like I feel like that about them. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, it sucks for them. I don't know like how you can get past that, but also too, like just don't be so, I guess, commercial, but I mean, that's what they are though. Like they were made to be that.
This album to me is the least Simple Plan sounding album.
Right. Okay. So like when you have like your clothing line come out before your first album, like that's what you're going to do. Like you're going to get that though. Like that's why they kind of get like so much snark and not respect from people about being too commercial.
I completely agree. And I also think there should be, I think there's not enough nuance when we talk about this kind of aspect of music of like the demands between creativity and commercial.
Right.
Because you're really always serving two masters if you want to be a band anybody's ever fucking heard of.
Right. Of course.
And I think there should be more nuance in this conversation because there's a difference between being fake and a sellout, and there's a difference between having a vision and a goal. And I honestly think as long as you're doing what you like, what your aim is, you can't be a sellout.
Right. But you can be fake.
I don't know if there being. I never got the feeling of insincerity from this particular album.
I mean, I don't necessarily say that they are, but I can definitely see like where people are coming from at it. Like, you know what I mean?
It is. Simple Plan is a weird band because you honestly, it's a lot of you kind of project, since they have this kind of like, there's different narratives you can like, that there's no right answer to how to feel about them.
Well, I mean,
you
also
kind of project yourself into that.
Right. And then also too, like you have to remember like in 2004, like they were in like a Olsen twin movie.
I mean, yeah, that's what you do as a pop band though.
As a pop band. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And they are a pop band after 2002.
That's true. I can say that.
Hey, so what do you want to recommend this week, John?
Well, without saying what I'm going to recommend this week, I know what you're going to recommend. And it's probably going to be what? Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift doesn't need my recommendation, John.
Oof.
You know why?
Why is
Taylor
that?
Swift is the one true God. She doesn't need a missionary.
Oh,
she doesn't need
gosh.
me to spread the word of
You know
Taylor
who
Swift.
I'm going to recommend? I'm going to let you finish, but I'm going to put Kanye out there.
You're going to recommend Kanye?
I'm recommending Kanye, and I'm going to let you finish. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I guess John's out of here. So this week for the Pod Punk Show, I'm Aaron Haag. That was John Bryan. And stay punk. All right, that does it for this week's episode of the Pod Punk Show. I hope you guys had a good time listening. We had a hell of a good time recording it. Let's just do our music credits from this week, and we'll be out of your hair here. We got God Must Hate Me, I'd Do Anything, One Wish, Worst Day Ever, and Perfect. Those are all off of No Pads, No Helmets, Just Balls from 2002 by Simple Plan. You can follow the show on Twitter at Podpunk Show. You can also tweet at us on there. We always respond. You can also email the show if you want to be a little more private, talk about some memories, or you just want to talk about music. You can find us there. It's podpunkshow@gmail.com. And we'll be back next Tuesday with another episode. And as always, until then, stay punk.